Good morning, friends. At least it's morning over here. I wanted to kind of show everyone this new development. And I'll start by saying this that, in my view, in my estimation, um, more or less anything in terms of content creation, two things are going to be true. Time in inputs, you're going to be better and you're more likely to quote take off. Also, I will just say, you know, whatever means there is for whichever particular platform to boost something, that's gonna just help you too. Um, so right, you have the YouTube, I think it's called YouTube Outreach, or you have for you have the Google ads that you can buy, for example. And that's really what everyone wants. What all platforms want is for you to spend money to pay to have your work pushed out. But that's not what I'm necessarily interested in. That's not what you're necessarily interested in, right? We're looking for as cost effectively as possible getting our work out to as many people and turning this into, if you have a landing, if it's a true landing page, getting people there so that it converts, and or if you're getting paid per clicks, then just getting people so you can get paid for clicks. And I say all this to say I think Sports Illustrated has done something in the game to really put a wrench in the works, at least momentarily. So, first of all, I'm just reading some of these headlines. Not bad, some of them. Some of them are god awful, though. But now, let's play fair. Um, am I sharing my entirety? So if I go new window incognito, that should do it, right? Yeah. So now we go, let's just do Nebraska Huskers, because that's what I know the best. And look at that. Sports Illustrated is ranked twice. Now, the headline says, "Is Nebraska?" Oh, I actually know this person, Caleb Henry. I wrote with him at one of my prior spots. It's interesting. Good for him. But anyway, um, is Nebraska football wide receiver Malachi Coleman headed for a red shirt this season? I will tell you that I picked this because this is the team that I know the best without needing to do too much extra research. So because of of how the transfer portal went for Nebraska, um, Malachi Coleman is definitely on the outside looking in terms of playing time, and he got a fair number of snaps last year as a true freshman, but in the UTEP game. Almost everyone got minutes except Malachi Coleman, and the reasoning was that they wanted to preserve his eligibility. You can play in 4 games and preserve your redshirt status. So what they're seeing is if it's possible that he redshirts this year. But anyway, so this is a legitimate question. But now let's see. After pairing, yep, okay, maybe. Nebraska football had this is all right off the bat. This is in the style of FanSided. You can tell that right away. But anyway, had a clear victory on Saturday against UTEP, including a 23-point second quarter to put the game out of reach because of that cushion. More than 100 Huskers saw the field. Yep, just like I said. I don't know that I've been done. If I've ever done it in 5 minutes left in the third quarter, put all the twos in, Nebraska coach Matt Rule said. I don't know why I'm using his voice like that. I actually really enjoy listening to Matt Rule. But anyway, but I thought it was really important for the development of our team that a lot of guys got a chance to play. Cool. Notably absent for the players to step on was wide receiver Malachi Coleman. That led some to wonder if the Lincoln East graduate may have been injured, although he was not listed as out or questionable on the pregame. Yeah, we know this. Malachi's health. Malachi's doing great. There's no problems that with health not an issue. Pointed to depth the wide receiver department. Malachi stepped up for us last year in a year that maybe he could have redshirted. If we had to play him, we'll play him. But I don't want to only play him later in games. Okay. College football players can play up to 4 games and still redshirt. Oh, it's like I said something I knew. For Coleman, had played in the final quarter in UTEP. The Huskers threw the ball 5 times, used up one of those games for potential redshirt. We have these two big receivers who are playing. Yep, Jamal Banks and Isaiah Neyor. If Malachi can have this year, he can play 4 games and play in the postseason. I think he would just be picking up right where those guys left off. All right. Banks and Air both measure at 6'4" against UTEP. They combine for that. Just kind of taking the pressure off him for a little bit, letting him go compete. I'm sure he doesn't want a redshirt. I'm sure he wants to play. So if something happens, he could play next. Cool. I just didn't want to put him out there play for a while. Really wanted to be worthwhile. Awesome. With Dylan Rayola at quarterback, the big red have shown through one game at least, trust in the passing game. Rayola through that. And Harburg was that, while Jalen Gramstead completed a pass for 11 yards as well. There are 15 Huskers get targeted through the game, with 11 making at least one reception. The next opportunity for Rayola, Coleman, and the rest of the Huskers to see action will be against Colorado. The game is set for that time and that station. Thanks, Caleb. So this is interesting because it's not the best of articles. Let's go ahead and say that. Am I thinking of the right? I might just be thinking of my interactions on Twitter now that I'm talking out loud. But I thought I wrote with a Caleb who also writes Nebraska. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We see how this is an article, and for me, it's a little too quote heavy. Whatever. Let's see one more before I offer. Okay, Austin Jacobson. We're not going to read through. Much shorter. Actually, it's so much shorter that we will read through it. Right away, we need the help, of course, of an ex post. What's this one called? Former Nebraska QB Scott Foster to join NFL staff. The Los Angeles Rams will reportedly add former Husker coach as an offensive analyst. A new report from the Los Angeles Rams has a former Nebraska coach and alum heading to the West Coast. Scott Frost, the former Husker coach, has been hired by Rams coach Sean McVay as a reporter. Pete Thinell reports he'll be a senior football analyst. Great. And then we get the tweet in case we missed it the first time in the text. That's awesome. Frost will reportedly help in a variety of roles on the staff, including special teams, where the Rams have a vacancy after Brian West recently with an assistant special teams coach. Why we couldn't name him, I don't know. The former Nebraska quarterback finished 16-31 over his last 4+ seasons in Lincoln after failing to return his alma mater to national prominence. In April, some reports said that Frost was dying to return to coaching. He was last seen on the sidelines in the home loss to Georgia Southern. Frost was in the NFL for 6 seasons with short stints in the et cetera, et cetera. After losing Eugene, Frost guided the University of Central Florida. Okay. And I think we get the point here. So what I'm really saying and what I'm really getting at with all of this anyway is right, they're not really offering much of anything in the articles, in my opinion, in terms of more or less everything that are in the articles are aspects that we all that anyone who knows anything about these topics would just generally already know. And you know, to me, the writing slash uniqueness that Google claims that they want isn't there. That's my big takeaway. And of course, we see another Sports Illustrated one here. So now let's go to the pros. I'm looking for something a little more specific. Here we go. Yes, this is what I'm referring to, or this is what I was referring to. So we see how all three of those ranked well. The one was the first one by Caleb, who I thought I had worked with, but now that I'm talking more and more out loud, I have not worked with Caleb. But there was another Caleb who wrote Nebraska content at a different spot that I did work with, so hence my confusion. But anyway, Chicago Bears rate amongst the youngest teams after roster cut down. I mean, right off the bat, I already hate this article. But anyway, you get the point. The first one was a decently well written article. In my opinion, if you're gonna have the focus of the article be about Malachi Coleman, then that's what the focus of the article should be instead of bouncing all over the place. That's just me. And the second one was worse in terms of that. And then now we have this one. This article is apparently about the Chicago Bears rate amongst youngest teams, even with the 40-year-old tight end and whatever. So this is about after the roster cuts, who has the younger teams, compiled by the third team. Great. Still ninth is the youngest and second youngest. Okay, great. So right, I mean, literally, this will take us 30 seconds to read because so we have this. I love that we have this random single line here. We have this. We have a couple in text quote or in text links. Here we go. Just in case you needed a break from your prior reading. Then we have a social media post. Another 2 lines, another social media post. Oh, we really outdid ourselves now, although we're just listing players and their age, literally. Post, and we're out of here. So, and this is what I've seen most of all from the Sports Illustrated people. And this isn't me picking on this Gene person. This is what I've seen by far and away from the Sports Illustrated articles is, you know, let's forget about the premise of this article, period. I don't like it. But right, low amount of text, nothing really insightful in terms of that. A lot of social media posts, and then kind of regurgitating what was already said or kind of going all over the place. So for now, the I and who knows why these Sports Illustrated um, articles are doing as well as they are. Let's just compare that with, you know, I'm not going to read through this one now, but so this is from Fansided, and we see there's a little more text. There's one social media post, and then we move on with our day. No, it's more of an article. And then let's just for fun look at that one then. Oh, this is an odds and prediction. Betting. I do like a good betting article though. I'm not gonna lie. Let's take one more. I want one that isn't necessarily just ESPN. Windy City Gridiron. There we go. There, text. Now here, I don't mind a single line because this is appropriate. Make no mistake, this is a major development, right? I like that. And I mean, it's a little short, let's be honest. So I wonder now, whatever the actual ranking factors are, it doesn't seem to be what people claim that they are. That's for sure. So I don't know. We're gonna continue to monitor this, but I has noticed this huge anomaly with the Sports Illustrated where I was Googling things for research for other aspects, and I kept seeing random Sports Illustrated articles. And so I think I'm not gonna speculate as to whether they're buying Google ads or just using their platform to increase pressure or whatever the case may be. What I will say is what I will say is for sure their frequency is it's there and their consistency. So regardless of what you think of Sports Illustrated and what they're doing here, that aspect is something that's definitely going to help their case out. So that's just something to look for. And again, in terms of writing, unless you enjoy writing, I would not get into the business of writing as in terms of a business model and in terms of hoping to rank because the rules change so often, so frequently. Um, and then you get someone like Sports Illustrated to just come in and dump on your decades of work. In the case of some of the other places where I've been now, to me now, you have to just enjoy the art of writing and writing well and writing so that when people do come to your website that they'll want to come back. That's to me that's the ticket. If that's your focus, content writing. And now that's a separate conversation entirely from creating a website or creating something on a website as a landing page and then hoping to convert sales out of that. Those are two separate conversations in my eyes. But this Sports Illustrated thing kind of shows me that a lot of what we are saying or what has been said in terms of what ranks, what doesn't rank is kind of nonsense. And yeah, it just goes to show. Just goes to show. So anyway, we'll keep our eyes on that.